Hi, my name is Jonathan Bean, and this is my presentation on what I learned from 2 interviews with professional researchers. Now, a little background. Both of these researchers work full-time at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Both of them work in the church office building, and it was really an honor to meet both of them. So this report that I'm making will be a synthesis of what I learned from these 2 interviews. So the first thing I learned is that when it comes to which one takes priority, qualitative or quantitative, I learned that you need both of them. Mixed methods is the standard. Almost every major study is mixed methods. The reason why is because you need to have 2 kinds of data. For example, you might need to know what is a bishop's experience with members who have mental health problems. That would, if you don't have that's not a definable question very much. So you would start with mostly qualitative research. You would look for questions, open-ended questions. Later on, you could then get into quantitative research. How many youth are attending YSA wards right after they turn 18? You need to have a mix of both. Sometimes you want to have qualitative research first and then follow it up with quantitative research. But a lot of times you just have both in the exact same study. A good rule of thumb is that about 60% of the research that these 2 brothers do is quantitative, and about 40% is qualitative. One of the things that they both seem to stress right at the top is that clients, when they first ask the question that they want researched, the clients often request things that are broad or fuzzy. They sometimes are overly simple, like they don't really know what exactly they're wanting to ask. Sometimes the problem is in scope. Sometimes the question is too small to bother with research, and sometimes the question is too big to be realistic research. So one of the big parts is once they get a question from a client, the next thing that they usually do is like, can we schedule a meeting? And really delve down and translate some of those messy questions into researchable ones. One thing that they both stressed is that good research tells a story. You want to keep asking the data questions. Why is this number this way? Why did this person answer this way? And you can just keep drilling and pulling out more and more questions from the data to tell your story. The qualitative is kind of like the story, and the quantitative is kind of like the evidence. So sometimes you want to lead with story and then follow up with evidence. Sometimes you want to go with evidence and then follow up with story. So this might sound something like 60% of young people in Utah feel this way. And here are some specific examples of things that they said. As part of that story, one place that you can stop research is when you reach a point called saturation, where you're not getting any new information, when nothing is new. Okay, I learned that some things need research all the time, like rapidly changing programs, anything that has to do with young adults, but other things just don't need a lot of research, maybe only once every 10 years, like what are members' experiences at state conference? What is the experience of retirees? Those are things that don't require a lot of research, so they don't change. And I learned that cross-pollination happens when different questions from different departments actually overlap. So you can be like, oh, to answer your question, let's go to this other research that we did. AI is huge in research right now. Some call it, they called it the Great Accelerator. Because it can summarize data sets. It can help you observe themes that you might not otherwise notice. It can help you design rubrics, and it can help you evaluate the quality of your research. But it was stressed very firmly. You have to double check AI's work. It augments human judgment. It doesn't replace it. And AI cannot contextually understand the way that a human can. Overall, You need to use proper communication skills when you're presenting. So you want to avoid jargon, you want to use quotes, you want to use visuals, you want to be creative, you want to be people-oriented, and you need to understand the context in which you're giving the presentation, and including cross-cultural stuff. So overall, it was a fantastic experience, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.